Hey everybody, it's Jason Wood, and we're back again with another episode of On Shelves for the week of December 14th. As always, I will bring you 5 books that I am most excited about reading this week. Mattson Tomlin may not be a household name in comic circles yet, but he is an accomplished screenwriter and one of the writers of the recent The Batman film. I believe he's also writing the sequel. He teams up with artist extraordinaire Lee Bermejo for a new science fiction series called Vicious Circle. Number 1 of 3 hits the stands today. It's published by Boom Studios, and it is an oversized prestige format book. The premise is Sean Thacker is a trained assassin from the future, and he has to travel around the past and the future fighting another time traveler, and the goal is to not muck up the timeline. The real draw for me here is that Bermejo, who with his lush painting style would look great regardless, is taking the challenge of drawing each of the time periods that the book takes place in a completely different style. This sounds a lot like the kind of thing that J.H. Williams III does, and it's one of my favorite things in comics. So I cannot wait to see what Bermejo has planned artistically, and hopefully Tomlin brings a narrative that matches up with Bermejo's artistic excellence. If you haven't heard of DC Comics' first issue special series from the early 1970s, don't feel bad. It's a deep cut, but that serves as the inspiration for Tom King and Jorge Fornes's new 12-issue maxi series, Danger Street. We get the first issue this week, and in it, Tom and Jorge pull together a bunch of B and C-list characters and craft one intertwined narrative. We may not have known it until today, but yes, let's face it, we all really did want to read a story with the likes of Starman, Lady Cop, Warlord, the Green Team, Manhunter, the Creeper, Dr. Fate, Metamorpho, and Starman, the blue one, all getting up to shenanigans. 2 months ago, Mike Mignola introduced us to a new character called Leonid the Vampire with a one-shot called Miracle at the Crow's Head. Mike is the writer, and he's joined by artist Rochelle Arano, and what would a Mignola comic be without Dave Stewart on colors? Well, he's back for the second issue in this new world. It's called Leonid the Vampire, A Christmas for Crows. Same creative team, only this time the titular character is dealing with some Christmas goings-on. I generally like Mignola's work, but I often find that his one-shots are particularly nice to just jump in, get a quick story, and jump back out, and I'm sure this will be more of the same. It's been a minute since I read an Iron Man book consistently, so when I saw that Invincible Iron Man #1 was solicited, I figured I'd jump at the chance. Jerry Duggan is handling the writing duties, and I've really enjoyed everything Jerry's done in the mutant universe of late, and he's joined by artist Juan Frigeri, who has a crisp, clean style that's absolutely perfect for superhero comics. The book I'm most excited for this week is Nightclub #1, written by Mark Millar with art by Juanan Ramirez. Couple things about this. First off, I've always been a big Mark Millar fan, and for a good chunk of the last decade plus, he's been doing 5 and 6 issue limited series, getting in and getting out, and I think he's been quite successful at it. But it's the fact that this is a new ongoing that has me really excited, because we haven't seen Mark do an ongoing in a long time. The other thing about this is it's, by his own admission, a superhero comic, and he has not written a superhero comic in over a decade. The crux is essentially a bunch of teens get bit by a bat that imbues them with bat-like powers. They each decide to use those powers for different reasons, and some, it seems, become superheroes. I'm really excited for this. I wasn't familiar with Juanan Ramirez's art until I saw the solicit, and boy, oh boy, does it look like Millar has struck gold yet again. He has an incredible way of finding impeccable artistic partners. December is a time for giving, and so, of course, I'm going to bring you another bonus pick. I would not be a comic book geek today if it wasn't for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. That reference book set my mind aflame about the idea of a connected universe. I gobbled up every issue of it and then quickly found an LCS, started a pull list, and the rest is history. So, the fact that DC's own version of OHOTMU, the Who's Who, is coming out in an omnibus form. This is volume 2. How could I not mention it? The first volume was fantastic, and I have no doubt that this follow-up will be as good. It's over 1,200 pages. You heard me right, 1,200 pages, and includes Who's Who in the Legion of the Superheroes, number 1 through 7, Who's Who in the DC Universe, numbers 1 through 16, and Who's Who in the DC Universe Update, 1993, numbers 1 and 2. That'll do it for this week's On Shelves. Please remember to like the video, comment if you would, and share it to your friends. This is a relatively new endeavor for us, and we'd really like the eyeballs to creep up, and the best way to do that is for you to show your love. Also, please remember to give our flagship podcast, 11 O'Clock Comics, a listen. Vince, David, and I join you at least 5 times a month and bring you 2 to 3 hours of exemplary comics and comic culture conversation. You can find it in podcatchers everywhere. You can also check us out at 11o'clockcomics.com, where you can find all nearly 900 episodes in our free archive. And if you want even more of us, you can check us out at patreon.com/11o'clockcomics or facebook.com/groups/11o'clockcomics. See you there.